Alrighty, welcome to this video, guys. This is GWDA373 Advanced Server-Side Scripting. Welcome to the course. Let's head to Learning Path. Go to Overview. This is where the syllabus is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Right here is where my tutoring schedule and the tutor schedule will be. So be aware of that. I'll put it there when I know it. Really, we're going to be doing server-side languages, obviously, right? So the technology needed brackets. We're going to install a database and some other things on our computer. We'll talk about that. But really the main thing is I don't accept late work. So if something's due at a certain time, it's due when it's due. If you don't get it in at that time, you'll get a 0. Now this is going to be the languages we're going to use in this course is going to be Node.js and Python. We'll do the Python project first and then the Node one. And really, if you complete both projects and get them hosted online, you'll be fine. You'll get your A and you'll move on. If you don't, we'll kind of take a look at about how far you got and give you a grade that represents how far you got. Basically, is how we'll run this course. Okay, each week I'll be posting a video that'll take you further into the project, so just be aware of that. That's really it. So let's head back. Well, no, let's just go to week 1 here. Okay, so for the first week, this assignment's should take you 2 weeks, so it's going to be week 1 and 2. What you're going to do is get everything set up, and then you'll create a little home page, and then you'll throw it up on Heroku. Now, Heroku is what we're going to use to host the projects, because the reason why we're using Heroku is languages like Python and Node and Ruby on Rails and such, you can't just throw up a Ruby file on inner server and expect it to work like a shared hosting thing. Like this doesn't work that way. Heroku was built for these crazier languages, Python, Node.js, Ruby on Rails, and there's a bunch of other ones. So the projects that we're going to create, we're going to put them on Heroku. So we got to get everything installed. I can't just start programming in Python on my computer because it doesn't support Python natively. So I got to get Python on there. We got to get database software on there. So there's a bunch of setup we have to do before we can even start doing anything else. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be, is we're going to get everything set up, and then we'll move on to actually creating the home page and getting it up on Heroku and all that fun stuff. Okay. So you'll get everything installed. You'll create the home page. You'll get it up on Heroku, and then once you get it on Heroku, Heroku will give you a link so you can see it live. So you'll post your Heroku link here to get credit for this assignment. Okay. Also, I need to mention that I'm obviously on a PC, and these languages, with my experience, sometimes something I do works fine on a PC or doesn't work on a Mac, or works on a Mac and doesn't work on a PC. So if you use a Mac, just saying, do that at your own peril, because you may run into issues that I won't really be able to help you with, because I don't run into that issue on the PC. So just be aware. I would recommend that you use a PC if you can't. If you don't have one and all you have is a Mac and that's all you want to have, that's fine. Just know if you run into issues, you're probably going to have to do some troubleshooting on your own. Okay. All right, so let's get going. First thing you're going to want to get is brackets. This is going to be what I use to code in. If you want to have your color coding and such match mine, go ahead and get brackets. If you want to use something else, that's not a big deal either. I'm not going to go through the install on this one because it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. So get that installed. Okay, the next thing is I googled PostgreSQL. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's how I'm going to say it. PostgreSQL. This is the database stuff that Heroku uses. So we'll want to grab that. So once you get it, we're going to go to download. Okay, if you're on Mac, grab the Mac version. We're on Windows, so I'm going to click Windows. And I'm going to download the installer certified by Enterprise DB. So click on that. It's going to take me off to another page and select your version. Well, I'm going to use the latest version that they have, so 10.1. Operating system, I'm on Windows 64. If you're not sure if you're a 32-bit or a 64-bit, You can go to computer here, right click, go to properties, and I'm on a 64-bit operating system. If you're on Windows 10, you should be able to hit start and do this PC, and that should come up, and then you'll right click that and then go to properties. But most computers that have come out in the last, 6, 7, 8 years, 64-bit. But if you're not sure and you can't figure it out, just go up to 32. The 32 will work on anything. 32-bit stuff will work on 64-bit systems, but 64-bit stuff will not work on 32. That's just kind of how it works. Okay, so I'll go with 64. We'll hit download now. Now I would create probably a folder on your desktop or someplace and call it, I don't know, advanced server side install files or something, because we're going to download a few of these. I created a place in documents, called it Flask, because that's going to be the library in Python that we're going to use, and I put everything in there. You can do whatever, but just download this wherever you want. It's kind of a big download, 300 megabytes, so it may take a while depending on how fast your internet is. So hit save, get it downloading. Once it's downloaded, run it. So I'm going to run mine. I'm not going to download it here. I don't want to waste that time. So I'm going to Flask, and I'm going to run the install. So if you need to pause this video while you're downloading, that's fine. Go for it. Okay, then you're going to run the install once it's done. If your computer does not have Visual C++, it should prompt you to download it, but most computers do, especially if you play video games, since a lot of these games require that. Okay, so it comes up. I'm going to hit next. Ask where I want to install it. Default's fine. We do not want to install Stack Builder. That's just a bunch of extra crap that we're not going to need. So uncheck that and hit next. Data directory, I'm good there. Okay, now it's going to ask you for a password. And this is going to be what you'll use to get into your database server and start creating databases and tables and such. So put in a password. Doesn't have to be too secure. I mean, this is going to be just on your computer, so not a big deal. Just something that you will not forget. Okay, so hit next. Okay, the port 5432, that's totally fine. Default locale is fine. Okay, and then we hit next. And then next again. Alright, this is going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll unpause it when it's done. Alright, it's done. Now, I can't remember if I said this or not because I'm old and I forget things, but the reason why we're using a PostgreSQL or not a MySQL or anything like that is because this is what Heroku uses. So when we get our stuff posted onto Heroku, Heroku is going to expect a PostgreSQL database. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, so I'll hit finish here. Now, what we're going to be using is pgadmin. We're not going to do it yet, but you can take a look at it if you want. But this is basically a graphical user interface for databases. So we don't have to go in and put in a bunch of SQL and things like that. This pgadmin allows us to go in here, hit the servers, drop it down, click on it, click on this little plus, and then it's going to ask for that password that you put in when you installed it. So I'll put it in. Okay, and then it'll connect to the database server, and then I'm able to go in here and create databases and stuff. But we won't do that until we need to. But just be aware that pgadmin exists, and that's what we're going to use to create our databases and tables and all that fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to kill that. All right, so we're done with the database stuff. Yay. Okay, now we're going to come over here and we're going to download Python. Okay, we'll go to Python here, .org. Fun stuff. We'll come over here and we'll do download. We're going to do the latest. Okay, we'll come down here. It's just saying all the fun stuff. Jeez, I don't remember this being this crazy. We're going to do... want the Windows 86/64 executable installer. Okay. Actually, I just hold on here, guys. That probably would work, but I had a different thing in my notes here. Grab that. Two seconds. I gotta double check something real quick. Nah, we're good. This should work. I just found another tutorial on another website, but this should work. So we'll click that. We'll download it. Okay, so download it in that folder where you downloaded the PostgreSQL. Okay, I have it here. So I'm just gonna run it. Now yours may well, yeah, mine's a little bit more updated, so I'm gonna grab that one instead. So let's do the 3.6.4. Let's do that one instead. All right, so I have 3.6.3, but let's install 3.6.4. There's, knock on wood when I say this, but there probably isn't going to be any big difference here. Okay, so I can just delete that. All right, so let's get it installed. So I'll double click, hit run. Okay, a big thing you need to make sure you do is add Python 3.6 to path. What that, I don't need to explain too much here, but mainly it's just the path is these environmental variables. So it just makes it so when we're in the command line, so when I come in here and I'm typing things, when I install Python, I'll be able to use Python as a command, is really what this is going to do. If you don't do this, you need to go back and do it because it's really important. So right now when I type in Python, it says, hey, it's not recognized as a command. But what this does is when I add it to the environmental global path, it's going to allow me to use Python commands in the command line. Okay. And then, so yeah, definitely check that. And then we're going to hit install now. Hit yes. Wait for it to do its thing. This shouldn't take too long. So I don't think I'm going to need to pause it here. Like the database one. Now, one thing to mention is if you have the command prompt open while this is installing, usually it won't work. Okay, so it's done. I hit close. So if I come over here and type Python, okay, it still doesn't recognize it. So usually what you'll need to do is exit out of the command prompt after it's installed, then open it back up. Okay, and now it recognizes it. So I type in Python and it says Python 3.6.4, blah, 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 blah. You know that it's been installed and everything's good there. Okay. Now also you can see once I typed in Python, I'm no longer in the normal command line. I'm in this command line with these three symbols, greater than symbols. So now I'm typing in, this is where I can code Python, I think. So if you want to get out of it, you type exit parentheses. Okay, and that'll bring you back up to the normal command line. Okay, another thing, I think you can hit Control Z. Nope. Yeah, Control Z. Oh yeah, Control Z, enter. That worked too. All right, so yeah, make sure that when you type Python, that comes up, and then you'll know you did it correctly. Okay, before you move on to the next step. Okay, now what we need to do, I actually need to hop back in there, is we need to install a thing called pip. Oh geez, settle down, Avast. Now, actually pip should already be there. Pip is, it's like Python installation packages, I think is what it stands for. And what it allows you to do is basically install a bunch of add-ons for Python. Because Python is a huge language, tons and tons and tons of people are using it in companies. So people have written a bunch of, they're basically add-ons, just like browser add-ons for Firefox or Chrome. They're basically add-ons. They're in packages that are created for Python that extend the functionality of Python. And so what pip does, it allows you to install these different packages. So when we installed this, pip should have came with it, and it did. And you know that by when I typed in pip, it gave me all these information. So what we want to do is update pip just to make sure that we are using the most up-to-date version. So I'm going to type python-m pip install dash capital U pip. Okay, and what that'll do is that is how you update pip. Yes, these are some funky commands. They're kind of weird, but the more you use them, the more you start to kind of memorize them. So requirement already up to date, pip. Okay, so I'm good. So pip is already up to date. Happy days, everything is great. Okay, now this next thing we're going to install, to be honest, I don't know if we really need it, but it's good to know. I've been playing around with it, and I think we'd be okay if we didn't have it, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. It's this virtual environment which allows you to basically create an isolated place on your desktop or an isolated place on your computer where you can do all the Python stuff that you want. It won't affect anything else. It's kind of like a sandbox for Python. So what we're going to do here, we're going to say pip install virtual env, so virtual environment. Okay, you hit enter. Oh, I already have it installed. I forgot. It's right here. So once you do that, though, it's going to do some fun stuff, and it'll download a bunch of things. It'll install a bunch of things, and then you'll be ready to go. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a folder that'll house my app. So I kind of told you I already did this in the documents folder. So I'm going to come up here to documents. And then I already created it. I'm going to call it Python app. So I just kind of right clicked, new folder, put it inside of documents. Okay, now inside of the command prompt, we need to navigate to it. So I'm going to say cd for change directory, and I'm going to say documents. Now one thing I can do is I typed in D and then I hit tab, and that brings me the first thing that started with a D, and then I can hit tab again, and it gives me documents. So I hit enter. I'm inside of documents now, and I want to go inside of Python app. Okay, so now I'm there, I'm inside of it. Now what we want to do is create this virtual environment inside of this Python app folder. Okay, and to do that, we're going to type virtual env, and I'll just call it PyApp. No, I'll call it VApp for virtual app. Okay, so virtual env VApp, make sure that you're inside of the folder that you're going to be putting your app in, and then you hit enter. Okay, and it does some stuff. And this is just creating this virtual environment that you're able to mess around in. But like I said, I don't even know if we're going to use it, but it's good to know. So now when I double click, I have this folder called VApp, and this is where my virtual environment was created. Okay. But this is like if you have 5, 6, 7 different Python apps running different Python versions, things like that. That's when you would use these virtual environments. Okay. Now, to actually activate the virtual environment, what you do is you go inside of here. Now, this is different on Macs than it is on PCs. On a PC, crap, I would like, okay, yeah, if you're on Mac, you type source, VENV, this is Macs, people, dash bin, dash activate, okay, and that should activate the virtual environment. If you're on a PC, what we got to do is type, oh wait, I told you wrong on that. it'd be source vapp, sorry, because we have to go into that folder, bin activate. Okay, on PC people, right, we're going to go, we need to activate a bat file. So if I go in here and I go inside of scripts, I have this activate.bat. That's what actually does it. It's a batch file for Windows. So that's what actually activates it. So I'm inside a Python app. So what I need to do basically is I need to go inside a vapp, then I need to go inside of scripts, then I got to run activate bat. So that's what we're going to do here. So I just say vapp, and I got to use the other slash because that's how Windows directories work. Go inside of scripts, capital S, and then run activate.bat. Okay, and now you know you're in a virtual environment when you have the little parentheses here before your command line. Okay, now while we're inside of this virtual environment, we need to install Flask. Flask is going to be the Python library that we use to do everything. It's kind of like jQuery is a library for JavaScript. Flask is basically a library for Python. It allows you to do a lot of pretty intense stuff with a minimal amount of code. All right, so we're going to say pip install Flask. Okay, hit enter, and freaking Avast is freaking out again. Go away Avast. Okay, and it goes in there, it does its thing. Okay, and it just installed Flask inside of this virtual environment. Okay. And I don't even know if you could really see it, but I don't think you can see it. Well, I'm sure they're somewhere. But anyway, so Flask was installed, so it did all this, successfully installed Flask, and all this other stuff. That's all things that Flask needs, so we're good to go there. Now, this installed Flask just for vapp. Okay, so if we were to create more apps, they wouldn't have Flask. The only thing that has Flask is this vapp. Okay. But when I start creating my thing, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to use the virtual environment. I'm just going to create it inside a Python app. So it'll be outside of this. But, this is just showing you how to do virtual environments if you want. Anyways, so we installed Flask there. Okay, and then to get out of the virtual environment, we type deactivate. Okay, now we're back out of it. Oh man, fun stuff, right? Okay, so that's it for the Python stuff for now. Now, next thing you want to do is go to GitHub. This is where people create all kinds of cool code and such that they can share with people. This isn't going to be this isn't going to be a big requirement of the course. I just want to show you how to do this. Okay, I want you to be able to upload code to GitHub, just so if you do ever create something awesome, you can throw it up there and be able to share it. And also, some employers want to see your GitHub page to see what kind of stuff you've been doing. This is how you would share it with them. So I'm going to sign out here. Okay, we're going to go GitHub. I just want you to sign up. So hit sign up for GitHub. Okay, put in your information and create your account. That's all I want you to do. Because later on when we start uploading to Heroku, I'm going to show you how to upload to GitHub as well. And you know what, to be honest, I probably am going to require that you turn in your GitHub page as well. So let me actually change that really quick. So I'll say also post the code to GitHub and post, give me the GitHub link here as well. So you'll turn in both. It's not hard. When we get there, I'll show you. It's not bad at all. All right, so get in there, create an account. It's, I think it might send you an activation email. If it does, get in there, get it updated, but I'm not going to go through that again. But once you've created the account, it'll look like this. Okay, and you'll have your little icon up there. Okay, so get a GitHub account, make sure that you do that. Next, Heroku. I'm going to have to log out of here as well. Okay. Go here. You're going to sign up for free. Put in your information. Role can just be hobbyist or other. It doesn't really matter what you put here. I think this is more for Heroku's data. Your primary language, I don't know. You could say I'm not a developer if you want, or just pick Python or whatever. I don't know. Take a look, maybe even PHP. It really doesn't matter what you pick here because you're able to do anything you want. But pick whatever one you want there. It's not a big deal. And then I think you're not a robot, so check that and hit create free account. Okay. Once you've done that and created your account, make sure you remember your username and password because you're going to have to use that in the command line interface. So just be aware of that. All right, the next thing we want to do is we're going to Google Heroku CLI. Okay, and we want to go here. This is the tool belt of Heroku. This is what allows us to upload things to Heroku from the command line. Okay, so once you get there, we're just going to go download and install. And if you're on Mac, if you're on Mac, just download and run the installer. Make sure you got 10.7 or higher. Okay, Windows, that's what I'm on. I'm just going to get the 64-bit installer. Okay, and there it is. That's weird that mine's a little different. Must have got it somewhere else. I don't think that's going to matter, at least I hope not. Hold on here. That's interesting. I gotta check something real quick, guys. Again, sorry. Well, I don't know. We'll just do it and see what happens. I know what should happen, so we will see. So yeah, download and install. I'm gonna grab the 64-bit version, which I did. Let's run it and see what the heck happens. So I'm gonna double click. I don't know where I got this one. It was a while ago, so we'll see. I'll hit yes. Okay, so yeah, we want to install the CLI. We definitely want to set the path. That's going to allow us to do Heroku commands inside of here. Okay, and then add, yep, that's fine too. So we'll hit next. That is fine. Hit install. I'm wondering if maybe this is a smaller size because it pulls the rest of it from the internet or something. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to hit close. Yeah, it didn't do what I wanted. Let me double check something. Okay, so I type in Heroku. I have no idea what it just did. It just updated, I guess. Okay, yeah, that's the issue is that, okay, so scratch everything I just did. Sorry guys, I know I'm wasting your time here, but we need to make sure that the installation that we get has Git in it, and that one didn't, and that's why it was smaller. So I gotta go find how I got this one. So I'm gonna do that real quick and I'll be back. Okay, found it. Here we go. So we're gonna Google Heroku CLI Python. Okay, and we want the getting started on Heroku with Python. And this could really, you could do this really with Ruby or any of these other ones. So for some reason, the one they give you here is the one that gives you everything you need, where the other one only gave you the CLI tool belt. So anyways, I'm gonna hit ready to start. Okay, and it's gonna say download the Heroku CLI for, click on the arrow, Windows 64. Okay, and then we click this button. There we go, this is the one we want. Heroku Windows AMD 64, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I already have it there, but this is the one you want. Okay, and then of course, if you're on Mac OS, boom, it's going to give you the package. Okay, so once you have that installed, I'm going to get rid of this abomination that didn't do anything for us. Okay, this is the one we want. So I'm going to double click it and run it. And yep, we want the CLI, we want to set the path, and we want Git, because we're going to need that to be able to upload to Heroku. So make sure all these things are checked. Hit next, next, install, blah, 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 all that. It's kind of crazy that they have two different install files, to be honest. I don't know, I guess there's probably some people that just want the Heroku stuff, but you got to have Git to be able to deploy it to Heroku, so it's kind of weird that they don't have that for you. Alright, so now the Git setup should come up. Okay, we want that. We'll hit next. Fine, I'm not going to change any of that. And it says it already exists. Yeah, that's because I have already installed it. I just uninstalled it before all this. So yeah, this won't come up, but yep, just keep going. Okay, now this is where things get a little crazy. Additional icons on the desktop. No, we don't really need that. This is okay. That's okay. That's okay. So really just keep the default stuff here. Okay, next. Now, this is where Mac and PC is going to be a little different. So for PC people, we're just going to use Git from the Windows command prompt. That's all we want. We're not using Unix or any of that, so we're going to use it from the command prompt. I don't even know if the Mac is going to even ask this. So hit next. Nope. Nope. Yep, this is what we want, the checkout window style. That's what we want. Okay, and then we want to use Windows default console window. Okay, this is going to use min tty. I don't even know what the crap that is, but I don't want to use that. I want to keep using the CMD. So we're going to use Windows default console window. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, we'll hit install. So really the only thing you had to change is that third option where we did use the Windows console. But this is going to allow us to now use Git commands inside of the terminal. Okay, and I don't really care about the release notes, so hit finish. That's completed. Yay, hit close. Okay, now because I just installed it while this was open, I'm going to have to close out and load it back. That took me a while to figure out actually. I'd have this open, I'd install Git or Heroku, and then it wouldn't work, and then I'd go, what the heck? So now if you type in Heroku, okay, it'll give you this stuff. If you type in Git, okay, you should get that as well. So now we know that Git and Heroku are both installed, and everything's great. Now what you'll want to do is log in with Heroku. So you do Heroku login, and it's going to ask for your email that you use to sign up, and then it's going to ask for your password, and oh my gosh, it's been a while. Now you're going to see me fail a bunch of times. There we go. So got it right the second time, and it'll say logged in as Dafid00 Yahoo. Now, once you've logged into Heroku like that, it remembers it for a long time. I don't know if it ever forgets it, to be honest. But anyways, so I'm logged in, everything's good. Okay, guys, holy crap, I think we're done with the setup. So if Heroku's working, you got the database installed, Python's installed, we did the Flask, we did the pip thing, all that stuff, we should be good. So once you have all of this, rejoice, you have it all set up, and now you can move on with life, and in the next video, we'll start actually creating the app. Alrighty. Have fun, guys. See ya.